Welcome to GenAI Live with Sia Partners from Las Vegas on the showroom floor of reInvent. We're really excited to have you here. My name is Wayne Saxe. I am a Senior Solutions Architecture Manager focused on our consulting partners here at AWS. Sitting next to me is JP.
Hey, I'm JP. I lead essays working with large partners in Europe. And this is David from Sia. So David, we'll start with you if you would like to introduce Sia. I know you are one of our launch partners on generative AI, so congratulations. And I know you do a lot of things on GenAI across multiple countries. So maybe can you give us an overview of who is Sia, who are you, who is Sia, and what do you do?
So a couple of words about Sia. Yes, at the beginning we are a consulting firm, but we have been investing in AI since a couple of years, more than 10 years. I'm personally leading the AI and data science practice at Sia Partners. As you can hear it with my terrible accent, I'm French, but the team is worldwide. Half of the team is in North America. So that's what we do. So we have been, combining since a couple of years what we do as a management consulting firm. That means having experts in different kind of sectors, and we are well known for our business expertise. And we have built a real data science team with engineering people, and also a lot of people are doing models. And now we are combining both of them, I would say, discussing with business of our customers, getting from this discussion the use cases, and then being able to build and run them through the different techniques of AI we can leverage. And there are things about GenAI, and there is a buzz about GenAI, but it's all kind of AI techniques, and we are also having the AI and competency.
Congratulations. And so one pain point we hear from partners and customers is the conversion rates from GenAI POCs to production is fairly low in the industry. But I think you have a much higher rate, a much higher percentage of conversions. And how do you do that?
For sure, this is coming from just what I said, because in fact, for sure, everyone wants to do POC to be a first step towards industrialization. No, we are not no one, our customer or AWS, us. We are not just looking for a POC for doing a POC. After I would say the buzzword of ChatGPT 2022, everyone has been testing, trying, investigating, and that was good because everyone has to be familiar with those kind of new techniques, but it doesn't give any real use case, any real problem to solve. Mm-hmm. The good point with the fact that we are a hybrid company between consulting and the technical people, data scientists and so much, is that we are starting to discuss with the business people, and we are always starting by a problem to solve. And the problem to solve is a use case, is the ROI. And so finally, it means that the proof of concept is more a proof of feasibility. Mm-hmm. And if it's feasible, we already know from the beginning that it's covering a use case and that we can deploy it.
Yeah, so the secret is starting from the business.
Yeah, this is definitely, I think this is a good, this is solving one of the points how to transform from proof of concept to industrialization. Yeah.
So do you see any commonalities or patterns about the use cases that tend to do well in your proof of validity validation versus ones that struggle?
In fact, on the proof of feasibility, the point is very technical, I would say. And sometimes, so the first thing is this one: do we have a model, techniques that could solve the problem, and which kind of ratio, performance of the model, of the system we are expecting to be able to go to production? The second one is definitely the one of do we reach your ROI, which is enough compared to what the performance of the model, because maybe it's working, not so bad, but maybe the ROI is not enough so that we deploy it at scale in the company. So I will not say there is a typical kind of things we can solve. It's definitely depending on this combination of the performance and the thing, and it's coming from a lot of things. It could be coming from the internal data of the company. It could be coming from the relevance of the process. It could be coming from a lot of things, but definitely there is no real rule. The things we know is that there are a couple of things on which we have already killed the problem several times, and from the beginning, from the day one, like I said to my customer, we have already done that. So we know that unless your data quality is very, very poor, we will be able to do that, and we can sometimes go to the MVP rather than going through the step of proof of concept.
Great. And so I know you work across many verticals, many different technologies, but I hear you had a great success with a large French bank in the field of ESG, or environmental, social, and governance. So can you tell us more about this success and how GenAI can help your customers solve sustainability reporting and compliance?
Yeah, so as I was mentioning before, we have deep expertise in several sectors or several kind of things, and one of those is compliance. So we are doing things about reporting and compliance, and we do have customers for which we are building their reporting and helping them to build a compliance framework and so on. And for sure, when you are building a report, could be ESG, could be in Europe CSRD now, a couple of other things like that are LCBFT, or things that are legal reporting or regulatory reporting. The report itself is not just about a couple of figures and KPI, it's a lot of narrative data points. And as soon as you understand how GenAI is working, the first thing you say, oh, I have a lot of narrative data points to do, let's do it with GenAI. If I take the CSRD regulation, which is a European thing, but which is looking like what the things about ESG, going a little bit more far than ESG reporting, you have something like 1,200 data points, 2 out of 3 are narrative. So you need to build a text, which is coming from the information which is inside the documentation of the company, and to build that, and this is the framework you are going to deliver to the regulator. So for sure you are at the first, just at the very beginning saying, okay, oh, let's use GenAI for that. Where it's coming to be difficult, if I compare the different things, in ESG, we have different kind of frameworks. This framework has been used for a couple of years. So you can use the reports from the previous years and the documents used for the reports of the previous years to build something which is I would say a new iteration of the things, new KPIs, new narrative, but definitely when you compare the report from year 1 and year 2, it is the same kind of thing. With CSRD, and this is here where we have the point, it's a new reporting. Nobody has been...
And by the way, for our listeners not from Europe, CSRD is Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive. So it's about it's a mandatory requirement for large companies in Europe.
And you have different pillars of like the ESG, things about climate things about regulation, about governance, and so on, social things. So you're collecting that are coming from a different kind of sector. What is difficult is that it's a new one. So you do not have any comparison basis. And most of the time, the information which is required by the report may not exist in the company because it has never been built. So where it's come a big challenge for GenAI is to make sure that there is no hallucination. So you put a set of documents from the company, and you want to see each time there is not a single information from the question which is asked, you have to say, okay, I do not have any information about that. And this is normal, and there will be a gap analysis between what is required and what is done. So we cannot have any information from that. We cannot say, okay, I have found something which is closely linked to that, but in fact it's not the right answer. We need to say, oh no, nothing is existing about that. So it was one of the big points when you analyze the performance of a model. Maybe you will say, okay, I have 80% right answers, but this 80% is made of 40% where you say no answer because it doesn't exist, and 40% which is relevant answer. And could be disappointing when you look at with the business guy, say, oh yeah, 40% in which he say no, but he's right, it's no, but in fact it has not done anything.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So this is we have with several banks work on that today because it's a huge thing for them, and it was a challenge to say, okay, are we able to do something about CSRD reporting? And it's working.
Okay.
It's working.
So if you're in Europe and you need to do a CSRD and you're struggling, call David at Sia and he will help you out.
Thank you.
So have you found success taking that approach and bringing it to other industries or other regulatory or compliance frameworks?
Yeah, but first of all, I would say we just talk about reporting. CSRD reporting is just a very small part about compliance. For sure, with GenAI, we can do a lot of other things. For example, there are a lot of control framework around these things. So you set a policy, you want to control that the fact that you have the fact that the policy is well applied and so on. So you have a lot of control to build, way of testing the control to build, and when the control is in place, there are answers coming from to the compliance officers, and you have to decode all the things that are coming from the field with that. And GenAI is a very, very efficient tool, and we have great things with a couple of companies in different kind of sectors, not only FSI but also tech things and so on which you have this automation, augmentation of the people that are doing that, and we are capable, we said, to make it more productive and have a couple of things that are fully managed by AI, and the rest which is going to the compliance officer, because there is something to be understood about the way you're doing the control. So the coverage about the compliance is very wide. But of course, we are doing things that have nothing to do with that. We are covering all kinds of industries today. So if we look at the GenAI things, we are going to do things as well for contract management, maintenance, of technical parts of an aircraft or things like that. There are a lot of things to be done, and especially we as I would say quite global company with a lot of sector to be defined, to be checked. We have our people and the business side. They do have use cases, and we have my technical team, I would say, is trying to get the best from the tools that we have built to get a solution to that. So the tool that we have built, maybe it will be your next question, but definitely we rely on what is proposed by AWS globally, and depending on the complexity of what we have to build, there are things on which we can use Amazon Q very quickly, and the business consultants themselves can use it. It's very simple, I would say, quite low code or no code. As soon as it's coming to something which is more implementing a model, doing agents to be able to make some more complex things and so on, we can use Bedrock, and we have been having a Bedrock use case in production very, very early after the launch of Bedrock. And for sure, if you need to tune a model, and we are not building models, but you are tuning some of them, we go to SageMaker, and in this case, so we have the full set and the full portfolio of tools we need in the AWS stack.
Cool. And Miguel, I have a question on the talent side, because a lot of our customers struggle with having enough talent to address GenAI, and of course, working with partners like you is one solution. But you were telling me before the show that more than 10% of your company are data scientists. Yeah. So where do you find them? Do you train them yourself? How do you do that?
I will not answer to the question where, for sure. The two things. First of all, yeah, we have been thinking that AI will change our job, the one of being a consultant, plus the way our customer work since a long time. I think we are doing a couple of things around data mining, I will say, since 15 years. But 7 years ago, we have started to invest in AI, saying, okay, we need to build a real data science team, and we have reached from 0% to 10% in 5 years globally, which is a big challenge in a growing company as well. The war for talent is here, and it's a little bit changing also with GenAI. Globally, before GenAI, we were doing a lot of things in AI/ML, where you need a lot of data scientists and a few data engineers or ML engineers to work with. With GenAI, you are more in the engineering, a little bit less in the data science, because we tune less and less models. So it doesn't answer your question, but one of the points is that since we are global and we are having teams everywhere in the world, there are some countries where it's more easy to recruit those kind of competencies, and we are making a blend from people being in Canada, in the US, in France, in India, and so on. And this is where we work all together on building the solution for our customers, and we try to have the best talent in the country where we can have them.
And maybe to help on the same topic, to help our customers, do you also do upskilling, or is it mostly hiring?
No, the principle, for sure, we are quite recruiting only people, very junior staff, just out from the engineering school. So it's very simple. They are getting out from school. They are just having some master in data science or something like that. And then we upskill them completely with the internal framework. Right. So we are doing it through training and so on, but we have also a couple of centers of excellence for each kind of AI technique. So we have one in computer vision, one in natural language processing, one in GenAI, one in operational research, and so on. So we have experts over there. We are building things with these with the experts here, and we are putting the junior staff in these labs so that they are trained on the R&D job.
Cool.
So that's the best way to train them. So and to train them to also our way of doing data science.
Fantastic. And maybe one last question. So if our viewers are looking at this and they would like maybe to work with you, what is for you when should they contact you? Like our customers who want some help implementing GenAI, what is your sweet spot? How do you what is the ideal use case for you?
There is no ideal use case. The point is, as I was mentioning before, and even if the customer doesn't ask for it, we will always try to go to the use case. A use case which is sometimes not exactly the request of the customer. It has to be done, and this is the job of the consultant. This is your request, this is your need, and we are going to implement your need and not your request. But there is no real bad or very good use case. It all depending on finally the value you are getting from that. Sometimes it's something which is very simple, but you will be able to replace tasks that are quite, I would say, done with very low value and done by human people. So you can do it even if it's a very small implementation of a very normal model. And sometimes it's the opposite. It's something which is very complex, on which you are going to help and to augment the people you are working with. And maybe the ROI is not completely indirect because you are not capable to measure it because you are creating new value. So I can tell something we have done with a customer in insurance and this is a stack Israeli as well on AWS. We are working with an insurance company and we have built a model which is doing actuarial calculation. So the model in live with a chat is capable to replace an actuary. So people from the business are asking, okay, I want to calculate my exposure to this kind of risk, passing all the contracts I have with all my customers. Can you do it? And before it was just impossible. It would have taken months to actuaries to open all the contracts to try to do that. And here, with this one, which is a specifically trained model, we are capable to do that in a minute. So we are not replacing anyone. Nobody was doing it. But the value of this kind of thing is very, very high for the business people that can finally make simulation, understand the things, and so on and so on.
Right. And so, going back to our customers, where do they find you? I think you're in 20 different countries?
Yeah, we are in 20 countries. So basically covering from North America, Europe, Middle East, and Asia. Personally, I'm based in Paris, but we have team everywhere in the world. The CEO is in New York. And so we can, it's definitely very simple, sia.partners.com, and you have the contact over there. And we are covering, one more time, quite all industries, all sectors. Here in the US, we have 14 offices, so that's nice. We can be very close from the customers.
Great. We only have like less than a minute. Favorite AWS service?
Oh, it's difficult to say. Personally, I think we have done so much with SageMaker that I think we have been growing thanks to SageMaker and things like that. But I would say globally, for the value I'm delivering to my customer, what is important to me is that since we are going with use cases that are in real production, we need security, reliability for 24/7 operation, critical processes, and this is what is delivered, and this is the basics. All the rest can work, but if we do not have that, we are not capable to deliver the service. We are not doing studies. We are doing real-time production use case, and sometimes very critical.
So reliability and scale is your answer.
Right? Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much, David. I hope
Thanks a lot.
Thank you for coming to Reinvent.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.